very closely. The Constitution of Canada and the Charter can be infringed upon in certain aspects from this government, but the Bill of Rights cannot. And it doesn't matter what agency you work for. This bill was brought forth and passed by people. There is a difference between people and persons. When you get pulled over, what does an officer ask you? He says, do you have any identification on your person? Because you are not a people until you claim your sovereignty. The Bill of Rights was passed by people, and in our Constitution it clearly states, no law shall supersede the will of the people. Are we persons or are we people? That's right. Listen closely. Section 1, it is hereby recognized and declared that in Canada there have existed and shall continue to exist without discrimination by reason of race, national origin, color, religion, or sex, the following human rights and fundamental freedoms, namely, Section A, the right of the individual to life, liberty, security of the person, enjoyment of property, and the right not to be deprived thereof except by the due process of law. Let me explain what that means. Unless you commit a crime, do what thou wilt. B, the right of the individual to equality before the law and the protection of the law. I, right now, am protesting. I'm expressing my rights as written in the Bill of Rights. That is why I can hold this microphone in my hand, regardless of conditions. There is no one that can infringe upon it, for if they do, they're infringing upon the Bill of Rights. C, freedom of religion. D, freedom of speech. E, freedom of assembly and association. And freedom of the press. Our Deputy Prime Minister is the granddaughter of the man who is responsible for all the propaganda under Hitler. When she took office, there was a $600 million bailout paid to our mainstream media, and ever since then, they have been scripted. This is not a new method, folks. This is the same immortal vampire of fascism that has been haunting the free world since we have existed.
Yep, that's right. Next page.
Our kids. Look at our children. 900 kids in North America in the last year have committed suicide under the age of 15.
That's crazy.
This is unacceptable.
Rise up! Rise up! Rise up!
These are our children. And if that's not enough, how shameful is it that your parents, who have lived their lives working, doing whatever it takes to provide a life for you full of opportunity and freedom, are made to die alone behind a window? This is un-Canadian.
Enough is enough!
We will not take this anymore.
Right.
We are of the right to retain and instruct counsel without delay. So why was I held for 29 hours in isolation by Toronto police? Of the remedy by way of habeas corpus for the determination of the validity of his detention and for his release of the detention is not lawful. Authorize a court, tribunal, commission, board, or other authority to compel a person to give evidence if he is denied counsel, protection against self-incrimination, or other constitutional safeguards. Deprive a person of the right to a fair hearing in accordance with the principles of fundamental justice for the determination of his rights and obligations. Deprive a person charged with a criminal offense of the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. When they arrested me in Toronto, they said they were arresting me for the possible repetition of a crime. Let me explain what that means, guys. That means that somebody was in the Toronto Police Force, thought they were psychic. And they were so afraid that I was going to come within either 10 meters of Dundas Square, 100 meters of Queen's Park, or I was going to hold a microphone in my hand, that they thought we should arrest her and lock her up for 29 hours with no food or water. Throw her into a wall a few times and see what happens. Try and scare her a little bit. Make an example of that young lady. Guess what, guys? I don't get deterred. I get determined.